New Beginnings Toastmasters Club, please come to order. Emily Walker, the Sergeant at Arms for the club this year. Welcome all Toastmasters and guests to our New Beginnings Toastmasters Club meeting on Zoom this evening. We'll move into our first roll with the invocation by Andrew Bullock.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? It's good to see all your smiling faces. I want to take some time to talk about how to deal with toxic people in your life. We all have that person or persons in our lives that can't just, cut them out of our lives completely, but, we still have to deal with them as they can tend to have a negative influence in our lives. So here are some tips on how to deal with a toxic person in your life. Set healthy boundaries. Pick your battles wisely. Recognize and distance yourself from their behavior. Focus on the positive. Utilize your support system. These are just 5 little small tips on how you can deal with a toxic person when they are having a negative influence in your life. The more you, and that 5th one, utilize your support system is one of the most important things, because when you surround yourself by people who aren't toxic and you rally them as your troops when you need them, that will help you to overcome the toxicity of that person in your life. And I thought I'd just share that. And with that, I will pass our meeting over to our president, Mr. Robert Riggs.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to New Beginnings Toastmasters. Hans, was that too loud? Welcome to New Beginnings Toastmasters. This is New Beginnings, which means that we are here to actually experience our own new beginnings through the process of speech and practice leadership. That is the purpose of Toastmasters. Our club goes one step beyond that, and we try to help you find your new beginning in your life, and this is a forum for you to actually go through that process, to give speeches about what goals and dreams you may have, to actually become that better you that you want to be. So welcome everybody to another splendid meeting. This, I believe, is our 3rd meeting of the year. Is that correct? We had 1, 2, 3 meetings. That's because we meet on the 1st, 2nd, and 4th Tuesday. So this is the 4th Tuesday. And it looks like we might have had a few guests pop in right after we started. Maybe one by the name of T. If T could do me a quick favor and unmute yourself. Welcome to our club. Tell you what brings you back. I think this is your 3rd invitation, so our 3rd time coming. So please tell us what brings you back and what you're expecting at tonight.
Hey, I want to join eventually, so I came back. So tonight I'm gonna observe again, but by next week I want to join in.
All right, absolutely. Well, I think I got your email or your phone number, and I sent you a text or a call. So. Oh,
you know what? You may have my old telephone number, so I'll send you my new one. Okay? I didn't get a text from you, so maybe I thought I sent you the new one, but I'll send it to you.
Just a private chat down at the bottom. Send it to me. We're good.
Okay, sure.
All right. Well, welcome. And it looks
thank you.
It looks like we have one other guest tonight, our general evaluator, Miss Lynn Claiborne. She's sitting over there looking all preoccupied. Welcome back. This is your 3rd time coming back. If you could do me a big old favor and just tell us what brings you back yet again.
Yet again, I was asked to be the general evaluator for today, and it's my pleasure to be back. You guys have good energy, and you're not the normal club. And I kind of like that. So I came back without being bribed. And here I am.
That's not completely true. I did bribe her, just not with cash. So there were other things. No, I'm kidding. But thank you for coming back. And we do have one other, technically she's a guest, but really she's a new member. She's giving us the new application and the cash and all that kind of stuff this Saturday. Is that right, Tiffany? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I said said yes, that's correct.
Excellent, excellent. So we have our newest official member, Tiffany, as soon as we get it all settled away on Saturday. So welcome, Tiffany. Thank you for coming in. She's actually giving a speech tonight, everybody, so we're in for a treat. She's competed at the district level all the way up at the Philadelphia area. So
In the Virginia area.
Oh,
In the
I didn't know
Virginia area.
you've competed at the district level at Virginia area as well?
Yes.
Well, you and Donna are going to have to work that one out, because Donna actually competed at the district level of Virginia area as well. So yeah, she's got that look like, So it'll be a good contest this year. All right. So without further ado, I am going to actually have two people that I'm going to pass this off to before I pass off the Toastmaster evening. The first one is our social chair, Elizabeth. She has a couple announcements. So if Elizabeth, could you please unmute yourself and tell us what it is that we need to know?
I think I'm unmuted, right? As social chairperson, Robert Riggs, remember that name, volunteered my house and backyard for our August 23rd gathering of the Toastmasters, and I am reneging on that because of coronavirus and being elderly and things like that. So we're looking for a new place, and we will have an outing with everybody there except the octogenarians. And the second announcement is we're going to sing for the birthday people who had birthdays in July, because we missed singing at the beginning of July. And maybe we could take in Tammy. Your birthday is coming up pretty soon too. It's August 2nd, right? So it's David, Marshall, John, or Joshua, and Andrew. Anybody else here got a birthday in July? So Robert insisted that I get to lead you with my off-key voice in a happy birthday to all of the July birthday people. Happy birthday to you. Wait, is everybody muted?
Oh.
Everybody has to be unmuted.
Unmute us.
Happy
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
Happy July.
Happy July birthday.
Happy
birthday to you.
And Donna had said that everyone who has a speaking part should, before they start their speaking part, tell their favorite line from a movie. So my favorite line from a movie is, "It's Lassie! It's Lassie! You come home! Oh, Lassie! Mom, Dad, it's Lassie!"
Is that a manufactured dog sound or a real one?
That's the real one.
It's a real dog.
Excellent. That's all right. So I would like to thank you very much. That's our social chair. She's one of my favorite officers. She's also done pretty much every officer role, I believe, except treasurer. Is that right, Elizabeth? At one point or another. So she's always been there to help me and give me a lot of good answers. So now there is one other person that I wanted to address. Now Cleo didn't want to come out and just say it, so I'm going to get Tammy to say it for her. So Tam, if anybody could unmute Tammy, she's actually got some new, we talked about this about a week ago at our officers meeting, and she's actually going to do a demonstration with Cleo on something. You do me a favor, Tammy, take it away.
Okay, well, we are looking for your hidden talents. Anything that you enjoy doing that is on our list, and if it's not on our list, you can message us in the chat or email us and let us know what you're good at. So I believe Cleo is going to pull up the poll. Are you able? Okay. So here it is, a few simple questions. You could just answer them.
Now, Cleo, is this something that you're going to be doing for our speeches going forward?
Yes. For today, I'm trying to get that set up because I have to put the people's names in for the polls. Otherwise, it'll be very generic, like speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. So I'm trying to load it in right now. I do have a second question though, and this is part of my project. Sorry to steer your spotlight, Tammy, but I also have a project as well where we hope to spotlight some speakers who, if they agree by citing the video release form, we will spotlight your speech on our YouTube channel. This will be apart from the main video. So, but before we do that, you have to sign the video release form. So it'll be a second question on top of who's the best speaker. The question 2 will be, okay, of the speakers today, who should be spotlighted on YouTube? But of course, we would ask the speakers permission first. So that's my part. Is everyone done voting? I see 6 out of 13 people have voted.
So that's kind of like if we wanted to, like we were looking at how to do a research and presenting speech, we could actually get an example. Like if Zach was to do a research and presenting speech today, oh, I think he is, and then we really liked it, then we could essentially upload his video to YouTube and say like, oh, that's how you do it. It's kind of like an example. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, they're very popular, those types of videos on YouTube. A lot of views. But we would get your permission first. We wouldn't just say, oh yeah, we voted, you're great. We're gonna just upload your video without without you signing a release form on it. So that's what the VPE, Andrew Bullock, will be in contact with you if you get selected. So it's the second option. So in case you didn't vote, there's somebody who had a great speech and you didn't vote them as best speaker, for example, but you thought that they will also be a great option for a spotlight. That's another way for you to vote for that person.
But I'm doing what?
You're going to contact them, remember?
I agreed to that?
Yes, you did.
Was I so?
Yes, you were.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the polling for Tammy's poll. And I don't see any more votes coming in. Okay.
Everybody done?
We're getting all sophisticated in here with the Zoom stuff. For the record, Cleo and Tammy both gave speeches at the officers meeting last week, and they've already implemented this. So I just want to say thank you very much. It's a big round of applause to Tammy and Cleo, who are kicking butt and making our PR efforts top notch. So somebody asked me one time, like, you did this and you did this and your club's doing this for PR and your club's doing that for PR. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, this is what I did. I got a Tammy and I got a Cleo, and that's what I did. Like, they did the rest. So thank you very much for doing you being you and doing some awesome stuff. So without further ado, we've taken care of club business. I'm going to pass it over to our Toastmaster of the evening, the one, the only, the glamorous, and I don't know how she stays in place that long, but I guess it's the glasses and the hair, the beautiful Donna James.
Thank you so much. Thank you, wonderful people. Thank you for wonderful people for coming out today. This is my 50s look. Don't I look fly? So I want to welcome everyone to Toastmasters, New Beginnings Toastmasters. The order of the meeting will be broken down into 3 parts. We will have the speech part, the evaluation part, and the table topics part. The theme of today's meeting is, I know some of you have heard of that show called Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where this is a condensed version called Whose Line Is It? We just dropped the anyway out. So how this is going to work is whatever your favorite TV movie is. Now, I know each of us have a favorite TV movie. So there is a scene that really pops out to you. I want you to quote that scene and play in character. And I want us who are watching you to name the movie and the character that you are playing. So that's going to be the theme. After our speech is completed for today, we're going to take a break, a short break, for people to get little munchies and little drinks or whatever you need, and then we're going to come back in. The meeting is going to last until about 8:45, 9 o'clock. Are we all on one accord? Say yes. Okay, so this is my quote for today. Oh, hold on, let me take this off. Give me a second. I can't show you all my bad hair day. All right, here we go. You are playing like this game is going to fail. No, listen to me. Anything you want to do, anything you have to do, you can do. Believe in yourself. You will not fail. Come on, let's get to work.
A League of Their Own?
No. Anything you can do, anything you want to do, you can do. Believe in yourself. You will not fail. So come on, let's get to work. So while you let that marinate until the end, we're going to give you until the end to name that, the movie and the character I was playing, okay? So what we're going to now do is I'm going to hand it over to our general evaluator, and that is Ms. Lynn Claiborne. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, everyone. As the general evaluator this evening, I will evaluate everything that goes on in the meeting. My focus will be timeliness, enthusiasm, preparation, organization, and performance. At this time, I'm going to have a report. I think this is how you guys do it. I'm going to ask those who have a role to explain what their role will be today. And if I'm out of order, President, let me know. If not, I'm going to keep on rolling. So as our table topics master, I might go out of order. Would you explain what your role is this evening, please?
Hello. So as the table topics master for tonight, I will be asking questions to the non-speakers tonight. And it's basically the speaker will do a 1 to 2 minute improv talk on the question that I've asked them. And usually when that happens, we get some pretty funny stories and we all get a good laugh out of it. But the whole point is to be able to speak at right on the spot, and that usually improves your speaking abilities as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next person is our timer. As the timer, could you please explain the time for all the various speeches? Thank you.
Madam General Evaluator, thank you very much. At Toastmasters, we time everything. And the first portion of it consists of 3 prepared speeches. They're all 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, you'll get a red pencil. Next is at 6 minutes, you get a yellow pencil. And at 7 minutes, you get a red pencil, at which time you have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech. I know that Robert over here will promptly ignore that advice and keep on going for about another 8 or 9 minutes. Now he's shaking his head. I don't believe it until I see it.
At which point you won't get credit for a speech.
Thank you so much.
And for evaluations, we'll go through which are 2 to 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 2:30, and 3 minutes. Our last but not least are table topics, which are 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, you will get a red pencil, 1 minute and 30, yellow, and at 2 minutes, you'll get a red pencil. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, we will have our listen up master. Would you please explain your role?
You're muted.
Mute myself. Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I will be your listen up master. I will be listening to speeches and table topics, speakings and introductions for interesting turns of phrases and information. And at the end of the meeting, we'll have a test to see if you remember who said what or why. Madam General Evaluator. I'm also the word master, if you want to call on me right now for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The word of the evening is perspicacious. Perspicacious. Perspicacious is, I don't know if you can see this, having unusual power to see into difficult matters. A perspicacious detective can tell when a witness is lying. A perspicacious investor, like Robert Riggs, studies the stock market before choosing which stocks to buy. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. And each time you hear that word, maybe you guys will do this or do that. I don't know. But thank you so much for that word. Perspicacious. I like it. I like it. Next, we have Cleo as voting. I'm not sure if you're going to do voting after every section, but if that's the case, would you please explain? Thank you.
The voting is going to be similar to what you saw earlier with Tammy. So for the best speaker, best evaluator, best table topics, I'll put the poll up for that. I have a second account for voting, so I can vote on those because I can't vote with the host account. So that's why you see two versions of me in here.
Okay,
And that's my role.
Okay, so after the speeches, we'll have time to vote. After evaluation.
Whoever's calling up for the vote, I will go ahead and put the poll up each time. Oh. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I skipped over someone. Who's going to be voting?
Well, we all vote for best speaker, best evaluator.
Right. So will that be by the table topics master tonight? I meant the Toastmaster of the evening. We'll do that. Is that correct?
You mean the call to vote?
Yes, like after everyone speaks.
Oh.
Then you will open a vote in to say, would you please vote for the best speaker?
Right. So yes, the Toastmaster of the evening will do that, and then the table topics master will do it for table topics, and the general evaluator, Lynn Claiborne, will do it for evaluations.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Robert. And let me make sure that I have our grammarian and R counter. Is that the same in one person? If not, would the R counter please go first, and then the grammarian to explain your role? Thank you.
So we've had a sudden change. Melba was unable to make it tonight, but Brenda Paredes is available. If she can hear me, hopefully she can unmute herself and explain both roles. Can you hear us? So I can tell you that at the moment, she told me she'd be out of work at 3:30 in Pacific time. Unfortunately, oh, there you go. It looks like she's trying to get back on, but she is still willing and going to be able to be on in the next 5 to 10 minutes. She is going to be our grammarian and all counter. So the grammarian role is really quite simple. You basically have to observe grammar throughout the meeting. It's not just speakers or evaluators. It's everybody at any given portion during the meeting. So you're in table topics. If you are giving a speech, if you're the general evaluator, whatever it is, you are going to be the grammarian. You're the person who has to identify idioms or mistakes throughout the night. The next thing is counter. So again, this is just not for speakers anymore. This is also for anybody. If you have an so, am, but, you know, filler words, my thing is either so or you know what I mean? Whatever your filler word is, whatever your crutch is, that's what we're going to be counting throughout the night. So Brenda is going to be both the grammarian and the counter for tonight. All right, and she'll be getting back on in just a few minutes. And now I'll pass it over to Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you again, Mr. President. Thank you for that well laid out explanation. At this time, we do have evaluators. So I'm going to ask the first evaluator to please let us know. Hopefully you have the information from your speaker to say, this is what they will be speaking about, and this is what the focus is tonight.
I believe Andrew's the first evaluator.
Oh, sorry. Yes, and evaluations are the most important part of the meeting because, like with our jobs, we don't know where we can improve unless someone tells us. So what we'll be doing as evaluators is we'll be giving you instant feedback on how you did with your speech, your delivery, your gestures, your clarity, your volume, your vocal variety, all those little tidbits that compose the entirety of your presentation. Madam Joint Evaluator.
Thank you, Evaluator 1. For Evaluator 2, if you were given an evaluation form, please let us know who you will be evaluating and what their focus will be tonight.
Evaluator 2 is being filled by Franz. As you can see, he's imaginary at the moment, but he said that he was coming to my house. So he will be evaluating the one, the only Mr. Zachary Phillips. Zach is going to be doing a speech tonight on research and presenting. Basically, you need to have references. You need to be able to actually identify a topic that we may not be familiar with and research it and just tell us about it. Just present it to us. That is the essence of what he will be doing tonight.
And our last evaluator, I believe, is 3 speeches tonight. Would you let us know if you know any areas that you want, that the speaker would like you to focus on for improvement?
No, I do not know what that is, but he will be doing, let's see, his Pathways Effective Coaching, an L5, leading in your volunteer organization. That'll be speaker 3.
Thank you so much, evaluator number 3. At this time, I would like to return the lectern over to our Toastmaster of the evening. Please help me welcome her again.
Speech number 2, the speech for today is Tiffany Dunbar. Am I correct, Andrew?
Yes.
Okay. The speaker for today is Tiffany Dunbar, DTM. The speech is Pathways Effective Teaching L1, Evaluation and Feedback number 1. It is a 5 to 7 minute speech. The title is called BLICR, Method for Delivering Engaging 2-minute Messages. BLICR, Method for Delivering Engaging 2-minute Messages. Speaker is Tiffany Dunbar. Okay, if we can have the timer now set the clock to allow for evaluations 1 minute. If anyone has any wonderful advice or encouragement and just some words of advice for Tiffany, please privately chat, send a message to her through the chat. If you don't know how to do it, you move your mouse over her beautiful face in that video and you'll see an ellipsis in blue. Click on the ellipsis and select chat and it will send a personal chat to her. Now I'm going to move forward to the next speaker. That person will be Mr. Robert Riggs, ACG ALB EC2. It is a Pathway Speech Effective Coaching, L5 Elective, Leading in Your Volunteer Organization. It is a 5 to 7 minute speech and the title is called The Tale of Two Titles. The Tale of Two Titles, excuse me. That was an error by my part. Those who have ever watched the same movie twice or got together with an old flame know that there is bittersweet feeling. Some good things and some bad things. Just to make sure his glasses were not completely rose-colored, our second speaker of the evening will be talking about his second experience holding the VPM title in a Toastmasters club. Somewhat unexpectedly, rekindling his old flame brought about some new surprises. Please welcome to our lectern, Rosie the Riveter.
Good evening, everybody. Who here has ever seen the movie True Lies? Raise your hand. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be surprised if anybody here hasn't seen the movie True Lies at one point in their life. It's a very popular action flick from 1994 with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. And I saw it when I was about 10, 11 years old. I loved it. I wore out that VHS. But what was interesting, though, is that I recently watched it again with Brenda Perez about a week ago. And the only thing I could remember besides the plot, which I already knew, was that, oh, there's some really old CGI here. And all the one-liners are kind of old and worn out. And wait a minute, it's just a general action flick. So it was kind of surprising. I was like, I thought I loved this movie. But in reality, there was some good things that I remember and some things I was like, oh, that was kind of better than I thought it was before. I guess things are just different the second time around. Well, actually, that's what happened with me with my BPM role. The first time I was a BPM, I was a green officer. I was coming into Virginia Beach Toastmasters, and I was going to take on the world. And I know what I could do. I'm a first-time officer, and yeah, I'm not BPM. I should be president, right? What the heck? Why not? And I tried to take on everything, and I did a really good job in some ways. In other ways, people were like, "This is a learning opportunity, Robert." I had a lot of good learning opportunities. I can tell you that. Second time around, I thought I had some wisdom, right? I thought I could figure it out. I knew all the mistakes I made the first time. Well, the funny thing that I found out is that even though I held the same title, each term was distinctly different. That's because each club was distinctly different. As a matter of fact, even if I was VPM again this year, I can tell you each term in a given year is different for a specific title. So after that whole year of experience, I actually reached out to Lee Walker and Hans and Elizabeth and a few other people and said, hey, evaluate me. How did I do? Hans was actually pretty hilarious because he's like, I asked him, I was like, hey, you know, I'm still looking for the evaluation. He's like, he basically said, in quotations, hold on, I'm just waiting to take you down from your high perch before I can actually give you an evaluation. So you said some other choice words as well, but you did give me a really good evaluation, so I appreciate that. I'm going to give you first some similarities and then some learning moments and differences that I had. The first set of similarities was Rosie the Riveter. If anybody's ever met me, they know I am, we can do it together. Let's go do it, right? That's Rosie the Riveter. That's what was 1940s, World War II. It was all the women were going to the manufacturing plants. Who here has ever seen me, know me long enough to know that I'm somebody who wants to get everybody involved? I want to be like, hey, what's going on with your mentorship experience? What's going on with your speech experience? Tammy, I probably texted at least 30 times in the last month because she knows that I'm dedicated to being her mentor. And hopefully everybody else feels the same way. I'm everybody, we can do it together. That's me. It's a good similarity. So it's something that happened in Virginia Beach that also happened here. One of the quotes that I got was, he enlists and encourages others to do delegated tasks. Well, that's good, because that means that there's follow through. I encourage everybody and I say, hey, let's go do this. And then they get some buy-in and some agreement, and then I help them go through those delegated tasks. Another quote that I got, which I thought was pretty interesting, was, can I keep to my commitments? The response, and I actually got this twice, yes, without question. Robert can keep to his commitments. And I can say honestly, in Virginia Beach and in New Beginnings, whatever the challenge was, I always tried to follow through. In addition to being able to encourage everybody, I wanted to follow through and make sure everything got done. Those are the positive things. Now, obviously, with every single positive, sometimes you're going to have a little bit of a negative, right? And if you only tool that you have is a hammer, after a while, everything's going to start to look like a nail. So to be honest, you know, it is true that if you're a leader and you're not stepping on toes, then you're not doing a very good job. Like, you should be able to step on a few toes while being a leader. Otherwise, you're not able to motivate and get things done, right? The problem is there's a way to do it. And so I did get a few quotes like this one. After a year of disagreements in Virginia Beach Toastmasters, I would say Robert manages conflict well. Now, granted, that was coming from Hans, who I argued with throughout the entire year. Some people never wanted to argue with me. But the people that actually preferred the form of communication of, you know, debate or discussion or arguing helped me go along with that process. I learned. So that happened in both years. And the people who just wanted to be, you know, do their thing in their own pace and time, well, I knew in Virginia Beach, those people who needed a more patient touch, I just pushed them. New Beginnings, I wasn't as pushy, but I can still admit I was kind of pushy. So I would agree that after some disagreements, I found some learning moments. And such examples, and I got this one, I think, from Elizabeth, At times, Robert needs to listen more than speaking. I'll be the first one to admit, listening is not always my strength. See, even Hans is shaking his head, and Lee is just like, yes. For the record, the scale was 1 to 5. Lee did not give me a single 5. Now, granted, he didn't give me a 1 or 2 either. He gave me all 3s and 4s, but I think it's valuable to know that Lee did not give me a single 5. So as you can see, they all fairly graded me. Another thing that I found out was that, well, this is a pretty common thing that happened in both Virginia Beach and New Beginnings, more so in Virginia Beach than New Beginnings, but Robert is the loudest voice in the room. I don't know if Andrew Bullock has ever said that before, or if Elizabeth has ever said that before, if Hans has ever said that before, but I found out that that can definitely be the case. So there's times where I should learn to tone down. And then finally, I have a reputation for being pushy. That definitely happened a lot in Virginia Beach, and hopefully it's toned down some in New Beginnings. And I think what it really comes down to is an improvement in respecting other people's spaces would catapult Robert into stardom as a leader. So maybe my pushiness is really my inability to try to just respect your boundaries. So I apologize. That's something that was actually a similarity and a learning moment between both. So I'm working on it, guys. Let me know if I get too far down the rabbit hole with that. Different environments for me mean different challenges. And I think what happens is when you're a leader, you have to come into that year and you have to judge the landscape. And the minute that you have judged the landscape, if you have a good idea of what's going on, you have to see the challenges in that year, in that role, and then say, that's what I'm going to focus on. So for me, the similarities between what I did in Virginia Beach, which was push, 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 get done, get done, get done, get done, get done. And here, which was do it in a way that allowed people to do it in their own time, those similarities guided me. But the differences between the two environments, with a really big club and a somewhat small and growing and now beyond 20 members but still young club, those differences challenged me. And I can honestly say at the end of the day, my responses to the unknown and what I see going forward is what will define me as a leader and ultimately will define us. And I hope as a VPM last year I did a good job, and I hope this year as president I continue to do the same. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robert Riggs. What a very excellent speech when it comes to leadership, and when you're dealing with different situations, oftentimes you don't know when to adjust or what is the best way to adjust that can be received in a positive manner by everyone. But I think you did a great job talking about that transition and some of the obstacles, and I don't think you're pushy. So with that, timer, can you set the time to 1 minute to allow for evaluations? If anyone in this Zoom would like to send Mr. Robert Riggs some riveting and wonderful information about his speech, please do so in the private chat through Zoom. I was getting ready to say all pens and pencils down, but we don't have that right now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shift over to our third speaker for this evening. That gentleman will be the name of Zachary Phillips. It will be a Pathways speech, visionary communication. He will be receiving his L1 after his speech. It's researching and presenting. It will be a 5 to 7 minute speech. The title of the speech will be, Will the Classic Cocktail Please Stand Up? This is our next speaker's favorite drink to make, and yet he has never actually made it. If he has, he wouldn't have called it what it is. It would be new to him and probably not what most people would like, but it's a classic and centuries old. If you're confused, let him present his findings. Please welcome to the lectern the guy who directed Cocktail.
Hold on one moment. I'm getting feedback. All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Donna. Yes, I'm the man who directed Cocktail in 1988. I was a lad of 5. You know, I really felt like I got great things out of Tom Cruise, really got him to show off his great flair and expertise in the craft of bartending. So seriously, I've been a bartender for 5 years now. Who here has been briefly? Who here has been in like food and beverage or any sort of drink sort of thing, catering, anything like that? Okay, great. Who here knows what an old fashioned is? Awesome. So that's the topic I'm going to talk about tonight. I did some research, as per the speech requirement, and the reason why I'm standing up is because if I have the time, I will actually probably do some of the drink making itself. So the first sort of event about the cocktail, the old fashioned, is in 1803. According to Smithsonian's Brief History of Bitters, there was an article that talked about a cocktail as being not a short-tailed horse, which was the original definition of the word cocktail, but a drink. And since it was the history of bitters, it goes on to describe that all cocktails involve bitters, which is this right here. Vinepair.com also talks about an article in 1806, 3 years later, from the Balance and Columbian Repository about a cocktail being a stimulating liquor that involves any kind of sugar, water, bitters, and spirits. So this leads me to the old fashioned, which was originally what was called a whiskey cocktail. And in diffordsguide.com, they talk about the original whiskey cocktail being something that's I don't know how to pronounce exactly, but matutinal, which is, you would wake up with no ice, you would, pour a shot of, your whiskey, a couple dashes of bitters, a little bit of water, and, some sugar, and just, chug it back. And that would be an eye opener that would start your day off right. And I can't say I've ever done that myself. I don't recommend it to anyone. But, nonetheless, that's what they used to do back in the 17th century, 19th century, actually. So fast forward again to years later, the drink was brought from specifically the home to like more of a bar setting. And people were doing, there was a lot of like what's called liqueurs, which is more like flavor focused and less, spirit focused. Like whiskey has a great taste, but the liqueurs, they're lighter on the alcohol and stronger on the flavor. So they would add, like, a lot of people know what absinthe is, curacao, chartreuse, which is a liqueur. They would add all these other stuff. And then finally, at right around 1880s or even, late 1870s, there was like these old timer drinkers. Some of them probably did the matutinal every day. And they were like, well, give me something and make it the old fashioned way. And that's basically where the whole entire drink origin came from. I mean, there's plenty of people who claim that it was started in Louisville, Kentucky, at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City, but ultimately no one really knows the exact origin of where the old fashioned came from. Fast forward again to sort of like the Prohibition era, even sort of before. The quality of spirits sort of went down again. And, from that, there were high standard liquors, but, because, the Prohibition, people were using like bathtub gin and all this stuff. Like people would add like extra, sugar, additional oranges, additional cherries, even pineapple, all sorts of, crazy fruits in order to, sort of, take away from that flavor that probably wasn't tasting so great. And interestingly enough, that is actually kind of the way we do it now. I mean, like even today, I went to a training for, I'm starting up on a bartending job again. And I look at the menu and it says old fashioned, and it's got, these cherries, these oranges. And I mean, that's actually the way, I thought it was done. So it's sort of weird, sort of like it began as one thing and then it changed into a new thing. People rebelled towards that. And then it went back to the old way, which is the new way. It's really confusing, but basically, like a true old fashioned is bitters, sugar, water, or ice, and your spirit. So, and then, but I mean, people in recent times have grown the popularity of it because, you know, Don Draper, if anyone has watched Mad Men, has, you know, used it, you know, like that's his favorite drink. I've never actually seen the series, but that's his favorite drink. So, you know, the popularity of the old fashioned is, you know, I guess really popular because of that show and other shows like it. So I think I got everything I wanted to say. So maybe I can start making the drink real quick. I know Hans has the yellow pencil, but actually, I think that what I'm going to do is do like a Martha Stewart sort of thing. And I made this drink, you know, pre-made it. It's a slice of orange. It's a cherry. It's a couple dashes of bitters, a little bit of simple syrup, which is basically sugar water. And I muddled that all together. And I added 2 ounces of Jim Beam right here. And I'm going to drink right. And then I stirred it up a bit and then added some soda water right at the end. And I'm going to drink it the Don Draper way. Cheers. Thank you, Toastmaster Donna.
Thank you, Zach, for telling us this wonderful information about cocktails. Now, just the word cocktails means something that's more on the feminine nature. You know, my father used to drink, and I drank a little while, maybe for a couple of years. I didn't start drinking until I entered Virginia Tech. And I had friends that did grain punch with fruit. Now, I guess that's the largest kind of cocktail you could ever have because they poured all the grain alcohol into large garbage bags, big garbage containers, and sliced up fruit in it. And so I didn't start having a drink until I entered college. And so my choice of a cocktail would be a whiskey sour. Now, unlike my father, who was more of a straight manly man, his would just be a glass of whiskey straight to the head with no chaser, no ice, no water. So, you know, when I think of the word cocktail, I think of a more feminine version of just not saying straight alcohol. You know, it softens it up. It makes it pretty. I'm going to have a cocktail tonight. You know, it just makes it pretty. So thank you so much for that speech. Timer, can you set the clock to 1 minute to allow for evaluations? If anyone would like to leave any of their kudos or suggestions to Zach, that would be great during this 1 minute time for evaluations. Or if you just like to send him, just remember your private chat.
Chug it down.
No shotgunning here.
Sip it like a gentleman.
And sometimes my dad wouldn't put it in a glass. He'd just take the whole bottle and take it to the head. It's like, oh my God.
Time.
Time has been called. Now that we've had all of our speeches for today, I would like to call on the timer to provide us a timer's report of the different speeches.
Okay. Our first speaker, Tiffany Dunbar, 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Mr. Robert Riggs, our second speaker, 7 minutes and 38 seconds. And our winner of the evening, because the other one out of two could not contain within their limits, is Zach Phillips at 6 minutes and 48 seconds.
Thank you, timer. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to call everyone to submit their vote to.
Do you want to do the poll?
Yeah, you don't need the vote. The other two are.
Well, let's go ahead and do the practice vote just so we can see what it's like. But is there a way that I don't know if is there a way to disable the first two?
I can. Can you give me a moment to delete the first two? off the poll, and then I will put it up there. Should we also vote for, even though you two of you all barely just was disqualified, should we still vote for the YouTube stuff?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm almost there. All right, is everybody done? It was like 13 out of 15. I was about to end it, then somebody came right at the last minute. Okay, I'm gonna end now.
Okay, the poll has ended. We are at the end of our speakers. Now, no one guessed who I was as the character or the movie. Anyone want to take a final guess before we take a break?
Indiana Jones.
No.
Is it a TV movie?
It is a movie that was aired in the theaters about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago.
Was it a Will Smith movie?
It's not a Will Smith movie. It's a basketball movie.
Oh, Coach Carter?
No, sir.
It wasn't 5 years ago, dude.
Well, whatever years it was, Andrew, it was a basketball movie.
Air Bud.
That was a little bit longer than 5 years.
The movie was called Just Right. It contained Queen Latifah and Common. Common played a basketball player that suffered an injury. Queen Latifah's character, who was named Leslie, was his physical therapist. So I'm going to air the scene really quick, and then we're going to take a break.
For the record, that movie came out 12 years ago.
Oh, did it? I'm sorry. All right, let's see. Let me get it in here. First, let me get rid of that. Well, I think if I don't share the audio, you're not going to be able to hear it.
Playing like you're afraid this knee is going to fail you. Well, it won't. Listen to me. Anything you need to do, anything you want to do, you can do. Believe in yourself. You will not fail. Come on, let's go to work.
That's the movie. Let's take a 5-minute break, everyone.
Let's go to work.
Let's go to work. 5-minute break. Come back at 8:14.
Okay, New Beginnings Toastmasters Club, please come back to order. We'll be moving into the table topics portion of our meeting. Let's welcome our table topics master, Jorny.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So it's table topic time. So I can hear myself here. How do I get rid of that?
We don't hear an echo.
Anyway, so let's start again. Again, table topics is a great opportunity for all of us to have an impromptu to talk speech. That's about 1 to 2 minutes, which usually ends up being funny, or we always learning something about each other. So to start off, I would like to start off by saying that my favorite line from a movie is, You Can't Sit With Us. I don't know if you guys know where that is from, what movie, and maybe the main actress that's in that movie. It would be great to hear from you guys. But that is my favorite line. I use it all the time. And speaking of movies and TV shows, like Donna spoke in the beginning, that's what the tabletop is going to be about. So let's start off with first question. I will ask Franz. Are you ready? So my question for you is it's pretty simple. So, during this pandemic time and, there's certain things, activity that we used to do, but we haven't done in a while. I would like to know, when was the last time you went to the movies? And if you could remember, what movie did you see?
To be quite honest, I haven't been a movie buff for a while. But during the pandemic, it was not part of my intake. But I did watch quite a few series. And among them had been Hannah, which was very interesting in terms of the way devious mind function and how to overcome by remaining focused. So that was my last epic of watching. But my greatest treasure is having had this moment in time of the pandemic to be able to re-examine myself as to what is my purpose, how I employ my time to be as much functional and bring joy. So that's what it is for me, dealing within the pandemic. That's my movie.
Thank you. Well, I mean, not everybody's a movie buff, right? But it's love hearing from. It's great seeing you come back. So I just want to say that. Next up, I will be picking Tammy, my favorite.
I'm
So
an evaluator.
What is it?
I'm an evaluator tonight.
Oh, okay.
You can still go.
Okay.
The only people who can't go are speakers.
Okay.
All right. Good one, Tammy, but that didn't work. So this one is a good one for you. So can you name a movie or a TV show that has gotten you so excited and motivated that you started doing something new around that movie?
Well, this would be a good time to introduce my quote. Every champion was once a contender who refused to give up. Now, you don't have to answer what movie that is right now. And I don't think I even sound close to who it was, but I tried. I am like Franz. I'm not a huge movie person, and the movies they've had lately have been stuff I wouldn't ever watch. So I think they're losing their creativity. I would love to see more creativity. If we're going to have movies and entertainment, then be creative and show me what you got and give me new ideas, stimulate inspiration and motivate me. And I really don't get that from movies anymore, which is pretty much why I don't watch them. But I do have a favorite series, and it was a Netflix series, and that was Anne with an E from Green Gable. She is very entertaining and spunky, and so she brings out the feistiness inside me and the wild child. So if you're ever curious and you want a good, wholesome show to watch, check her out. Over to you.
Thank you. Yep. I mean, it's all about Netflix. Thank you for sharing that information. Is Asha right next to you?
just walked over.
Well, then you're up next. So,
Gosh.
Asha, thank you for it's great seeing you right now.
Likewise.
My question for you is, can you name a movie or TV show that describes your life?
My life. I guess I was thinking of a funny line from a movie. Actually, there kind of is, because I try to deflect things with humor. And I would say Easter Parade. Humor, as you can tell, I look like a Cheshire cat at the moment, so that really goes along well with the theme. So I would say Easter Parade starring Judy Garland, because my face moves a lot even though I don't mean for it to. And there was a point when she was walking down the street with Fred Astaire and he was saying what a beauty she was and how very classy and how wonderful it was to have a woman like her at his side. And meanwhile, she was like, so making light out of things is a way I cope, and she did it beautifully, I thought. So yes, Easter Parade starring Fred Astaire and Judy Garland beautifully illustrates my world and my life. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. Thank you, Asha. That was a great description. So next up, so Tammy, you're gonna just kick her out of the screen, huh? So next up, I don't know if T's available. Is she with us still? T, our maybe new member.
Yes, I'm available.
Great. This question is for you. You know, just we don't know much about you, so something around about the movies or a TV show. I would like to know, how many hours do you exactly? How many hours do you spend actually watching a movies or TV show in a week, in a month, and in a year?
After coronavirus, I have been using my Netflix subscription, definitely. So we're looking at, if it's a good television show, I will binge watch sometimes and watch all of it. But most of the times I'll say a good 8 hours of television I'm watching a week, which is a lot for me, because normally I like being on the go, but being stuck in the house, I have been watching the television more than normal.
Yeah, tell me about it, right?
I mean, I found a few good episodes that I found, a couple of movies and a whole bunch of things that I have been watching that normally I wouldn't watch. Most of my things, I don't like chick flicks, but I do like a lot of fighting and a lot of mysteries and things with a lot of action in it. That's mostly my choice.
Great. I mean, I think you're definitely not alone in that. There's a lot of us out here that get to binge watch, but I hope at least we're learning from binge watching these movies and TV shows. Because what's the point if we're not getting something out of it? Yeah.
It was one show I've actually was watching, and it was based on, I can't think of the name of it, but it was based on a guy that he pretty much works for the FBI. And he figures out cases based on people's emotional expressions. Like, they sit there and they study people's emotional expressions, and they can tell what a person's lying, when a person's anxious, when a person does something. I can't think of the name, but it was a really good show that I had got into, but it's like 2 or 3 years old. Stuff like that really does interest me.
Yeah. Do you know what was it? Netflix? Was it a certain channel? Do you remember?
It was I got it through Amazon Prime, so it was IMOB, one of those streaming services that did it. I'm trying to think of what the name was. I don't think it was just, I have to think of what the name is, but it was a really good series that I just got into. The actor too, he's not a big list, he's not a big A-list actor, but it's really good. It seems like something that may have not been on television for long, and they picked it up through one of those streaming services.
All right. Good. Hopefully, hey, if you remember, you can always type it on the chat to everyone.
Oh, okay, sure.
Is it The Mentalist?
Hmm?
The Mentalist?
Wait, say it again.
The Mentalist.
No, I don't think that wasn't it. I think the actor name is Tim Roth. If that sounds right. I have to think of what the name of the show is. It was really good though. I just happened to click onto it and get into it.
All right. Well, during break or in between, there's always Google. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next up, Brenda. Welcome back. My question for you is, do you like Robert's movie picks or TV shows?
Come again?
Do you like Robert's choices of movies and TV shows? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. In general, I'm pretty much open to any type of TV show or movie. That's also the case with music or picking a hobby. I like to watch it at least once and form my own opinion about it. The only movies and shows I do not like are horror. I'm just not into that. As far as anything that has to do with evil spirits or Halloween, I'm just not into it.
That's right.
The movies that I do like that Robert recommends would be romantic, action, thriller, and so far I haven't disliked any of the shows that he's suggested thus far. As far as music is concerned, we do have a couple differences there, but overall, I think he has a good choice.
Ah, that's nice. You're probably thankful that you don't have to watch it with him anymore.
Well, what's interesting, it's incredible how you can go on Zoom and watch these shows together, even with a 3-hour difference. I find it how technology has improved in such a way that we're able to connect with everyone.
So he still tortures you. So he still tortures you with it. All right. Oh.
Virtually, yes.
Thank you. My last table topics, of course, I'm gonna repeat the same question again as I asked Asha. This time it's to Elizabeth, Claire, and the question is, name a movie or TV show that describes your life. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I don't get to see a lot of movies because I'm working full time all the time and have been for the past 45 years. A movie that describes my life, I would have to go back to my childhood, to the Superman serials. They used to have a chapter of Superman every Saturday, and you had to go every Saturday to see what happened next, how he got Lois Lane out of the trouble she was in. So I always wanted to be Superman. And recently, my grandkids bought me a Superman t-shirt. So I wear it when I have to do something really difficult. Like when I'm driving from here to St. Martin's, New Brunswick, I wear my Superman t-shirt. Now, once when I was climbing a tree and I tried to swing from one branch to the other and I fell, my mother said, "Oh, she fell and broke her arm because she was trying to be Supergirl." And I said, "No, Mom, Superman." So that's who I would like to be. That's the movies I would like. Leap over tall buildings with a single bound and bring peace and justice to the world, conquer all the bad evil people and rescue people from their dangers. Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Miss Elizabeth Clare. You are saving lives when it comes down to speeches and grammar, that's for sure. So thank you for that. That's the end of my table topic. But before I end, Donna did guess what movie that was. You can't sit with us. So I'm gonna share the actual footage, which will be Mean Girls. So hold on one moment.
You have to select, when we share at the very bottom, you have to select the button that says share audio.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
So stop your share real quick. And then when you reshare at the very bottom, there's two check boxes at the very bottom.
So I share it and okay, got it. Computer sound. And then do I do optimize screen share for video clip too?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's start over.
Is butter a carb? Yes. Gina, you're wearing sweatpants. It's Monday. So? So that's against the rules, and you can't sit with us. Whatever. Those rules aren't real. They were real that day I wore a vest. Because that vest was disgusting. You can't sit with us!
Okay, so that's my favorite. I always use it at work when people sit at my table. Oh, all right. I'll stop sharing. All right, back to you. Is it, I believe, to Lee Walker? Nope, Miss Donna James? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone for the table topics. I like everyone's responses. So it's really good to see how people can see what movies reflect their lives or what resonates with them when it comes to a movie. So we had our timer gather all the times, and we would like to have him provide us a timer's report.
Okay. France, 1 minute, 10 seconds. Tammy, 126. Asha, 109. T, with a whole bunch of help from others, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Brenda, 123. And Elizabeth, 125. As far as my favorite quote for a movie, I had to filter out the majority of the quotes from this movie. The quote is, "You are pukes. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit."
Okay.
That was the filtered part.
That's the cleanest of the bunch. And it's from, anybody can guess?
Full Metal Jacket?
Huh?
Full Metal Jacket?
Full Metal Jacket, yes.
Yeah. Full Metal Jacket or Platoon.
Back to the Toastmaster of the evening.
Oh, thank you so much. So now what we're going to do is it's going to be our time as the members of New Beginnings to chime in with our vote. Are we good now?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so what I would like to do at this moment is to turn it back over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Donna. At this time, we will have our evaluators evaluate our speeches this evening. And the first speaker of this evening was Tiffany. So at this time, we will have our evaluator for that person. And just a reminder that matter of fact, I'm gonna let y'all do your thing. Please help me welcome the first evaluator for Tiffany Dunbar's speech.
Before I begin my evaluation, I'll give my movie quote, and I'll give you an opportunity at the end of my evaluation to guess where it came from. I know now why you cry. It is something I could never do. All right. Tiffany, this was a very engaging speech, probably one of the most engaging speeches I've ever experienced. Now, the project is evaluation and feedback, and the purpose of this project is very simple. You give a speech, you get evaluated on the speech, you take my evaluation, apply it to a second speech, and see if you can make improvements, and then you turn around and give an evaluation of your own to somebody else using what you learned from the 2 evaluations you received from your speeches. So this is the first speech. So this is the feedback that I'm going to give you that you'll apply to your second speech. So a couple things that you excelled at was keeping the audience engaged. We were engaged from the moment you began speaking, and we were engaged all the way through until the end of your speech. Excellent work. You kept everyone interested. Your volume and variety, your clarity were all very good. Although at one point I kind of felt like you were shouting at me, but it's all good because it kept me involved in your presentation. One thing that you did that really stood out was you made sure that you were standing while you gave this presentation. And this is something that is very difficult to do in a virtual environment. It's so easy to just sit at our desk and give a presentation. It's something else to actually stand up and speak. And I like to see more of that from all of our speakers as we continue on in this virtual environment, actually standing up and giving our speech at our computers for those of us who are able. One thing I'd like for you to work on was your use of gestures. There is such thing as too little gestures, and there is such thing as too much gestures. I would define what you did as over gestures. When you use your gestures effectively and deliberately, it doesn't take away from your speech. And so I'd like you to scale back your gestures just a little bit so that we don't get lost and following your hands everywhere they go, all over the place as you're constantly gesturing throughout your presentation. And to challenge yourself, I want you to adjust your movement space a little bit so you don't surprise yourself when you back into the wall behind you. Other than that, it was a fantastic speech, and I look forward to hearing more of your speeches. Madam Journey Evaluator. Oh, well, now that I'm done. So can anyone guess where my quote came from?
It's not Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Actually, it is.
I know.
I actually have the clip here.
Not to go. I order you not to go. I order you not to go.
I know now why you cry. But it's something I can never do.
My favorite movie. No matter how many times I watch it, that scene always gets me.
Hell yeah.
All right. Now I'm General Evaluator.
Thank you, Andrew. At this time, we will have our second evaluator, and that person will be evaluating Robert Riggs. So please help me welcome that person.
Thank you. Robert spoke to us about leading in your volunteer organization, and he did a good job. He gave good examples, and he kept his humor. And what I like about Robert is he's always himself. He talks to us like he would be talking to anybody on the street. And he's very engaging and keeps us riveted to him. As he says, Rosie the Riveter will say Robbie the Riveter. let's see here. The only thing I could see that really I would say to improve is technical terms, CGI. I had to look that up. I had no idea what CGI is. For anybody else who may not know what CGI is, it is computer generated imagery. Okay. So just clarify, if you're going to use terms that people are not familiar with, then just give us a heads up as to what that means. And for excelling, you excel at being you, Rob. We love Robert, and we love the way he tells his speeches. He uses a lot of hand gestures. He talks to us directly. When he looks at us, even though we're on Zoom, he looks like he's looking at each person. We think he's talking right to us. He's very comfortable with himself, and that comes across to everyone. What else can I say about Robert? Vocal variety, tone, pitch, very good. He wasn't his usual feisty self, and so there wasn't as much variety as he would normally have, or tone, but we did hear him clearly, and he was, well, not as animated, but he still spoke to each other, and he still had tone variety. So, and eye contact, good. Gestures, there was a little bit of gestures, not as much as lately, as you would do. See you, Hans. and that's all, folks. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Our next speaker will be evaluating Zach Phillips. Would you please help me welcome that person?
Good evening, lovely Toastmasters and Zachary. And thank you for allowing me the privilege to have shared your speech. And I find it very well researched, and you were on point. There are a lot of things that you have bring to the table that I myself was not aware of. The complication of preparing a drink and its origin, its purpose. You have provided different nuances of it. And what really struck me is having seen you standing up after explaining that you're back into studying the art of being a bartender again. However, all of these which you bring in, what I have found, which is very interesting, have bring to me the only source that I can see your display of action was on point. But the only thing that I'd like to see, it's a little enthusiastic of your emotion involved in it. Your point is the history was perfect, the different era and different aspect of the drinks. But your emotional state was, to me, in there, but kind of holding tight, not allowing it to breathe. Because being a bartender, you're going to be the psychologist, you're going to be the friend, you're going to be the go person. But if you remain that aspect, it may play a part of it. The only things that I would like to see in your continuation, since you make such great research, I'd like to see more. And I know you can. And I'm looking forward to your next presentation, because through your effort, I can see myself and I see where I need to improve as well. And I thank you for sharing your speech with us tonight. Back to Mrs. Stolz.
Thank you, Franz. I believe, may I have a timer's report for the evaluators, please?
Yeah. I have one more evaluation. Hold up. The special evaluator.
Yes, you may have a timer's report. Everyone qualified.
Wait. We still have one more evaluator.
Oh, okay.
That would be me. Evaluating Jorni Bacala. Okay. All right. Greetings, everyone. I have the pleasure of evaluating Jorni Bacala's. She's doing the active listening project, and she was in charge of our table topics, and she did an amazing job. So the purpose of the project is to demonstrate her ability to listen to what others say. So and she did plenty of that. After each question, she responded. For example, some of the things that I liked, and she's very funny too. You're probably thankful that you don't have to watch it with them anymore. So he still tortures you. Some of the quotes that I liked. So she's very humorous, and it's all about Netflix. Those are some of the quotes that I remember from when she was responding. So she was very good about responding to everyone's table topic speech. But before that, she was very good about explaining what table topics is. She even mentioned that it's funny. It could be funny and also great for learning something new about each other. So I really like that. And thank you, Donna James, for the wonderful theme that Jorni used for table topics. So that's great. You may want to work on, and it's also a challenge. Unfortunately, I could not see your beautiful face this evening. I guess you had some technical difficulties. So unfortunately, I could not see your gestures or your facial expressions. But you did have wonderful vocal variety, and your volume was great. You showed a lot of enthusiasm in your voice, so I really appreciated that. Overall, I think you had a great table topic session today, and I look forward to you doing it again in the future. You're very, very funny. So I look forward to hearing you again doing table topics. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening or General Evaluator. I don't know which one.
Thank you, Cleo. At this time, we will ask for a timer's report for the evaluators, please.
Okay, now we're ready for a timer's report. Andrew, 301. Tammy, 240. France, 218. And Cleo just snuck it in at 2 minutes exactly. So everyone qualified.
Thank you for that. At this time, do you guys vote for evaluators, best evaluators? Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to ask that you take a vote. Okay. So at this time, we will have a report from our Listen Master and Word Master.
I vote for Word Master. All the perspicacious members of Toastmaster sort of, they know the word, they're going to use it something, but only Donna used it this evening that I took note of.
And people in the room.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Listen up. Here's a problem. I write down the question and then I forget who said it. So you guys are going to have Who said, whatever your crutches are, that's what we'll be counting tonight?
Me?
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though Brim counted them.
Okay. I don't know a whole lot about a whole lot. Who said that?
Tiffany.
Tiffany, that's right. Who said, what TV show made the old-fashioned cocktail popular?
Zach.
Mm-hmm.
And what TV show was it?
Mad Men.
Mad Men.
Mad Men.
Okay, great.
Mad Men, yeah.
Who said he was using the time during the pandemic to evaluate his life?
France.
France, yes. Who said she was not a big movie person and give me new ideas?
It wasn't
Tammy.
Tammy and it wasn't Asha.
It was Tammy.
Yeah.
Who said she used humor to deflect things?
That definitely was not Asha.
Sasha. Who said, I hope we're learning from binge watching these movies?
It was T, wasn't it? Or was it Jorny?
Joining.
Okay.
Who said during the break or in between there's always Google?
There's always what?
Journey.
Google.
Ooh, oh, yeah.
Who said the only movies she does not like are horror and evil spirits?
Brenda. I kind of have to know that one.
Yeah, you would. Who said when you stand, be aware of your surroundings so you don't back up into the wall?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Who said you have to? Who said all your papers and pencils down now?
Donna.
Donna.
Who directed Tom Cruise in Cocktail?
Zach Phillips. He did it at 3 years old.
Yeah.
Or 5 years old.
When did the old-fashioned cocktail gain cherries and orange slices?
Early 1900s.
Yep.
Was the 19th century?
The 19th century.
Was it the 50s when everything with all the bitters were too bitter?
No, it was during the, tell us, Zach, are you still there?
Prohibition?
Prohibition.
Talking about
Because
the
all the
bathtub
alcohol
stuff.
was that nasty tasting.
That bathtub stuff.
You done good, class. Going out to Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you. At this time, we will move on to our grammarian and account.
Well, as far as the all counter report, pretty much, I want to say there were a couple of the speakers that resisted using filler words such as so. However, we all collectively, I think, especially me, watching out for those filler words, so. I lost count in certain instances. As far as grammar is concerned, I've heard everyone use the present and past tense correctly. I didn't hear any run-on sentences. However, there was an instance where I would sometimes hear someone say and there wouldn't be an ending to the sentence. So it's just keeping that in mind. And other than that, that is my report.
Thank you. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anyone.
That's everyone.
Except for the general evaluator.
Right. So I'm ready for my evaluation. My favorite line is you can't handle the truth. What movie is that and by what actor?
A Few Good Men, Jack Nicholson.
That is right. That is
Can't
right.
handle the truth.
But tonight, you guys can handle the truth because I'm going to give you the truth about my general evaluation about this meeting. But the things that you did well, or you always open up the meeting 30 minutes beforehand to work out any kinks, to have people rename themselves on a screen. This way everyone knows what's going on. So if you think I did a fantastic job tonight by remembering, it was because Everything was on the screen. So that, keep on doing that because that is excellent. I like that the invocation, I like the Sergeant at Arms. He opened up on time. He resumed after the meeting on time. Great job, Lee Walker, great job. I like the fact that the invocation was 5 little points to get rid of toxic people or to keep them away from you. Great start of a meeting. I like that. I also like that the president allowed someone else to give announcements instead of hogging up all the time. And you know how presidents can be.
That's right.
He didn't do that. He shared that experience. So I really enjoyed that. I like the fact that the guests were greeted, even myself. And you allowed Tiffany to say a little bit of something. Singing that birthday song, you guys were out of tune, but it was nice. I like that. Great. The theme, the Toastmaster of the evening, great job with the theme tonight. The movies, the one-liners, I like that everyone had their little clips to show. I really didn't have my clip, but it was still good. I like that the timer, after every single person who spoke, she had a little feedback. She shared that she was listening and she was engaged in what you were saying because she either commented or she repeated just a couple of things throughout your speech. So excellent job as the host for this evening and Toastmaster of the evening, Donna. Very, very good. The enthusiasm was there. How was the enthusiasm there? Because the speakers brought the enthusiasm. We started out with Tiffany. She would say YMCA, and everybody said YMCA. Great job, great way to have people remember the acronyms so that you can use that when you're giving your speech. I really enjoyed that. I like the fact that also when Robert gave his speech, he wasn't his same enthusiastic person. He allowed you guys to see a different part of him by not being so motivated or whatever you want to call it. That was good. And I really like the last speech, Zach, about the cocktail. And if you didn't read my chat, I said, maybe one day you can make me one. So all of the speeches were some of them were informative. Some of them had a little bit of humor. That was really good. The table topics was on point because they followed the theme. So you guys do well with saying that this is going to be the theme and we're going to make it so that when guests and people come up, they will see that, that we're really doing this all together. So that was really great. I also like the fact that evaluators. So I'm going to give a little talk about the evaluators now. Now the evaluators, I'm not going to put you all individually. This is just conclusive of everybody, the things that I heard in the evaluation. In the evaluations, you gave good things that people said. And sometimes you gave examples of what they could say. But in order for the speakers to grow, you must give them examples. Like I'm going to give you one. Tiffany, you use over gestures. This is what you could have done instead. Give them that example so that they can practice it later on. Also, one person said as far as evaluation, that one person did wonderful. One person in Toastmasters cannot do just wonderful. You have to find something that they can improve on. Like I like the fact that, you know, your area, your stage presence, make sure that you're familiar with the area so that you don't bump in the wall. That was an excellent, excellent example. But in order for the speakers to improve, we really need to listen so that they can improve. And hopefully when we give the feedback that we're given, it's received, and the next speech that they give, we can see that they applied the feedback and they're not making the same errors or they're improving. Or if you find something good, and if you don't know this book, Strength Finders, when you find someone's strength, you help them to build on it so that they can become better. So overall, this meeting was a good meeting. what would I say to improve the meeting? Timer, get those backgrounds. Everybody in your club need to download the timer's background. It's on Toastmasters International. All you have to put in is virtual background for timers, and everybody can download it. And then you can have different little virtual backgrounds as well. But it's hard to see that pencil. It's hard to see that little pencil, but I saw it, but I'm not sure if everyone else saw it. Otherwise, your club is great, great enthusiasm, and great variety of different talents and just everything. So, Madam Toastmaster or President, thank you.
Well, in the interest of time, since it is 9:06, I will take over and just go through the rest of the meeting real quick. Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator, for coming out as a guest. That's actually the second week in a row that she was a General Evaluator. She actually evaluated our club's officer meeting last week, and she did such a good job that we were like, you are so good at this. You should come back and do it again. As a matter of fact, I got a chat thread here from Donna. She said, she is a great General Evaluator. I love her voice. So just so you know, it's not just me saying that. Like, there's like at least 2 or 3 people giving positive comments here, just on your general evaluation alone. So thank you so much, Lynn, for coming out. I really appreciate that. Absolutely. So without further ado, I would like to have 2 quick things noted in the rest of the meeting. And the first one's going to be Jorny. Jorny had a very quick announcement that she wanted to make. Could you go ahead and unmute yourself and just tell everybody what that announcement is?
Hello. Besides table topics, my regular job is a treasurer as an officer. And I just wanted to remind everybody that our dues are due. It's $50 for 6 months and $100 for the year. And remember, the reason why we're doing this is because we get so much awesome education and materials that we gotta pay our dues. So again, me and Robert will be reaching out to all of you guys through calls, text messages, email, respond, because we're not gonna stop. Thank you.
For the record, if you tell us to stop, we'll stop. But yeah, so maybe after the 17th time, who knows? But the dues are due, I'm going to say, by the end of August. So we're going to say September 1st is when our club is going to put a deadline against when trying to get it in. Now, technically, you can put your dues in a little bit at the beginning of September, but we're going to say the end of August. That way we can get it in and get out of the way, because we got a lot more fun stuff to worry about in September, like club contests and things like that. And that's usually a VPE role. As a matter of fact, I do have our VPE. He's going to go ahead and they make a few announcements. Andrew, could you go? I think you had 2 things you wanted to cover. Could you go ahead and do those for real quick?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You gotta stop volunteering me for stuff.
That is a lie. You told me earlier.
As per usual, we're looking for volunteers to fill the roles for the upcoming meeting on August 4th. I'm looking for a Toastmaster of the evening and a Journal Evaluator. Do we have any volunteers? Any volunteers?
I think I could do table topics next week.
Table topics is already taken.
Oh, I thought you said, what was the 2?
Toastmaster of the evening and General Evaluator.
Jorny, you're giving.
Never mind.
Jorny, you're giving a speech next week.
You don't need it.
Never mind. I'm not available, guys.
But you are giving a speech because remember in the officers.
Oh, don't worry. I got you, Robert.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to surprise the mess out of somebody and select the Toastmaster evening. I said I'm going to surprise somebody and select the Toastmaster of the evening. Zach Phillips.
It would be my honor.
All right. Thank you, Zach.
Say that with a full sarcastic face.
I will get with you and I'll walk you through the process of being a Toastmaster of the evening. You will not fail. Thank you. What was the other thing, Rob? Oh, I got it. The other thing to discuss is the club officer trainings. Now, our officers have already attended our required trainings, but the district has elected to do more club officer training. So if you're interested in learning about a an officer position in the club, even if you're not actively in that role, starting August 3rd all the way through August 11th, we will have, August 12th, I'm sorry. We will have club officer training sessions provided by the district. If you want any of that information, let me know and I can forward you the email that I got from William Tyree with the date and the Zoom information for the upcoming club officer trainings. So if you're interested in learning about an officer role, please reach out to me. You can either email me, call me, text me, whatever. All right. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you, sir. And I promise you that is the last announcement we have for tonight. We're not even going to go through awards or anything, right? No, actually, we might go through awards because we do have people who actually won Best Speaker, Best Evaluator, Best Table Topics. But before, one last thing I actually have to award because our Toastmaster evening, you might have forgotten to do this, Madam Donna James, but it's okay. We're not going to forget. There is one person who actually did get a physical award. That was Mr. Zach Phillips. You got your L1 tonight, did you not? Absolutely. So we all have to stand up out of your chairs, and this deserves a standing ovation. Congratulations, Zach. Very great. He only joined like 2-3 months ago, and he already got his L1. Congratulations, sir. Thank you very, very much.
You can't blame Donna for that. That's kind of on me because I forgot to tell her.
Well, to be honest, I told her as well. So, but
it wasn't your fault. It was my fault. I had it in my mind to do it, and then I guess just slipped my mind. My apologies, but you know I got mad love for you, and congratulations.
Outside of that, Donna, you did a fantastic job. So, honestly, if you had like 30,000 good things and like one little mishap, I'm perfectly happy with it because you did a great job. So.
Thank you.
Zach, no oversight, fantastic job, L1, and in about 2 weeks he's gonna get his L2, right? No, I'm just kidding. Take your time. Take your time.
I think it's gonna be 1 week, probably.
Yeah, just why not,
Multiple clubs.
Absolutely. So, without further ado, there is Best Speaker, Best Evaluator, Best Table Topics. Well, our best speaker tonight was the individual who got his L1, Zach Phillips. Congratulations, sir. Very, very good tonight. Now, our best table topics. We had 6 participants. Our best table topics tonight was, we want to go ahead and do a drum roll. So unmute yourselves if you can. Do a drum roll. Claire and her lovely dog has won this evening as best table topics for Superman, not Superwoman. So congratulations. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Very good. Very nice. That's actually the 32nd time in the last year that I've seen her win Best Table Topics. So she wins even when she doesn't participate. It's quite miraculous. So very good.
Where's all the ribbons when we get ribbons?
If you remind me, we will make sure and give you ribbons. We got plenty of them in the bucket. So, and then finally, Best Evaluator. Now, I said, is it a little suspicious that the 2 people that can see the votes are actually being voted on? That was Andrew and Cleo. And Cleo,
I didn't vote for myself.
Apparently she didn't vote for herself.
You did.
But I can't vote because I'm a co-host. So.
Yeah, so she put in the messages tied Andrew and myself, no lie. So not to be suspicious or anything, but the 2 people that counted the votes equally won Best Evaluator. So
there's the evidence right there.
There you go.
Oh my God. That is so funny.
I was ahead for a moment, and then at the last minute, someone voted for Cleo. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you both. I'll take a ribbon, a Best Evaluator, and cut it in half and give it to both of you. So. All right. Well, without further ado, thank you everybody for a wonderful evening. Is there anything else that I've missed before we call it quiz?
One thing, I wanted to show my favorite line from a movie.
All right, real quick. Give you 1 minute.
Okay.
By the way, mine is I guess when it comes down to it, you gotta get busy living or get busy dying.
Oh man, he took mine.
Took yours.
Can I go ahead and share it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
So,
too easy.
wait, is it the end? That's it.
Oh my God.
Never gets old.
That's hilarious. That is so funny.
That was great.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out. Our next meeting is next Tuesday. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes, only on
August 4th.
Tuesday.
I think we have one the Tuesday after that as well, but we'll focus just on next week for now. And until then, next time, everybody have a wonderful night and a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend. I will see you then.
Bye.
Good night, y'all.